Hi, guys. Welcome to Healing Broken Trust. We're Brad and Morgan Robinson,
Yes.
and we are coming live today to talk to you about triggers and dealing with those triggers during the holidays. We know Christmas is coming here very quickly. We have what, 10 days? How many days? 9
9 days.
days. 9 days. And we know that it's going to be, it can be pretty hard on a lot of people. So Brad, we wanted to talk about this thing that Brad kind of coined and kind of put together, and it's
I don't know.
called.
Well, I didn't coin it. I heard it from a client, and I thought
Oh,
it was that's really cool. I like that,
oh
so it
yeah.
stuck with me. But I didn't. I did not coin this.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. Yeah, but it's an interesting word, pre-assurance. Pre-assurance. What do you think about that, Brad? Tell
Yeah.
me about it.
Pre-assurance is really important because it's offering reassurance before our partner gets triggered, and it's a proactive way to help them feel safe emotionally.
Hmm.
It's basically saying, "I see you. I'm here. You matter." So that's really important, and you can use that any version of that, like "I see you. I'm here. You matter." in words, our tone, our action, and then our level of affection.
Hmm.
But it has to be gentle affection because sometimes affection, obviously, is not always welcome after trust gets broken, after our spouse has betrayed us or hurt us. So
That's
it's
right.
not always welcome. But if they are open to it, then we can offer a hug, we can hold their hand, we can sit near them without any sort of pressure. And that physical affection is saying, I'm not going anywhere, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
So that physical presence, when it's welcomed, when it's safe, when it's like we both agree that it's something that's good for us, it's really a direct way to soothe somebody who's been traumatized. And it just helps them uh, feel better. Works really well in the early morning when we're tired because our we tend to be more triggered in the morning or when we're stressed or in the evening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
it's
very.
just a really good way to help somebody who's traumatized.
It's very interesting. So pre-assurance. So reassuring before your partner is triggered. So
Mm-hmm.
that assumes that we've talked about those triggers.
Yeah. So it's a good point. It's assuming like you know what it looks like because some people get triggered and they get silent. Some people get triggered and they're more vocal. If a pursuer gets triggered, you're going to know about it. If somebody's more of a distancer, they might just pull away more.
Mm.
So you're not always aware of it.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. And so being aware of how your partner reacts when they're being triggered, having an idea of what those triggers might be, what that looks like for them will really help. And so having conversations around what triggers you or what triggers your partner, I think is really very helpful, which is something that we help people do is have those
Yeah.
conversations. Um, any thoughts on that, Brad?
Yeah, I think you gotta. I think it always goes better if you have. That's because that's part of what pre-assurance is. It's saying I'm here, I see you, you matter, not going anywhere. That helps if you can have like a conversation before
Mm.
events happen.
Yeah.
Like, what is a plan? Some people are triggered and they're like, come close. Other people are triggered and they're like, stay away.
Mm.
Some people want both, just depending on the circumstances or the situation. So it's confusing to the person who's working to be a healer if the person who's been betrayed is confused on what they want.
Oh, yeah.
Because it may be situational.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes in our negative cycle, we're like, read my mind. I want you to do it this way.
Right.
And then the person's like, I had no idea that's what you wanted
Yeah.
because it was different last time and then the time before. And what is tricky about this is that for the average person who's betrayed, they love their spouse. That's why they're choosing to reconcile. But they're also now afraid of their spouse.
Mm.
So now in the same heart exists fear, but also love and then confusion. So people are like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. And that's where it's helpful just to kind of be graceful on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to heal, you need the betrayer to be a healer, help rebuild, help be transparent. You know, obviously be sorry, to acknowledge it. You know, to help kind of be willing to do what they need to do to rebuild things. But um, but that fear can exist on both sides. And pre-assurance, the way we've talked about it so far, is like what somebody has done who's been unfaithful can do for the betrayed, but we can do it for each other as well.
Mm. Yeah.
Because sometimes people who have had an affair have a lot of shame. They also can be uncertain. if they can ever be forgiven. And sometimes they're a burnout pursuer, or maybe a burnout withdrawer even, but they're burnout in the relationship and they don't know if this is something that they want to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, they can need reassurance.
Yeah, that reassurance,
Yeah,
assurance, right?
yeah.
Before, so trying to, so it's not reading the mind, of
No,
course,
not at all.
but it's talking about potential problems. You know, if you're an athlete, you know, you go through the athletic process, right? You're visualizing, you know, the game day, right? You're visualizing the shot you're going to make. Well, in this particular situation, it's very similar, right? You're thinking through, okay, when we go to your mom's house for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or for the New Year's, you know, they're going to probably ask these questions, right? Well, how are we going to answer those questions? Or, you know, so kind of thinking through the game day, right, in advance. What are we going to say? What are we going to do? What could it look like? And then sort of visualizing it in your mind so that it's less triggering, and when those triggers happen, you'll have kind of a plan in place, and being able to just communicate with each other and say, you know, when this happens, it often makes me feel this way. Or I could imagine if somebody were to ask me that question, I might feel, you know, a certain way. And here's what I really need from you. I need you to come by me and touch me on the shoulder, or I need you to step in and say, you know, I think we need to leave, or whatever it is, to defend me, or maybe it's to give me space and let me go to the restroom or something, and not follow me and ask a million questions, whatever it might be. Having that conversation is going to be really, really important and very helpful. And then I think something, as you were speaking, something that popped in my head was the idea of patience, right? We need to be patient with ourselves through this process, and to allow for both, like you mentioned, the confusion and the love and the fears, recognizing each piece of those, you know, there that are there, and having patience with ourselves to allow those things to coexist so that we can work through them, right? To sit with them, to acknowledge them so that they can heal, so we can heal. And then again, also patience with our partner, right? Because they're going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes because we're human. And so having patience with the process can be very hard, especially when you're triggered and dealing with, you know, the blowback of the trauma that is infidelity, right? So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. Uh, Morgan, let's get into some
Oh,
practical ways
okay.
on how to offer reassurance across different situations that people find themselves triggered in.
Okay, sounds good.
The first one is during holidays. Obviously, like we just had Thanksgiving, we're about to have Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, there's other holidays during this season, and those are big events. And
Right.
this also goes along with other situations like anniversaries.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's really tricky when the anniversary of an affair, when it was going on and when it was discovered, is during the holiday season. Like these are supposed to be like really family times, like
Right.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and instead of it being a special time for us, I'm now reminded of how apart we were, or like your affair I discovered on Halloween. So now every Halloween I think of this. Those can be really special, but in a bad way, situations that create a lot of triggers. And so something you can say if you're somebody who's seeking to give pre-assurance, so if you've been maybe unfaithful and you're seeking to give pre-assurance, something you can say is, I know the holidays might stir up hard feelings. I want you to know I'm focused on being emotionally present with you and making sure we create moments that feel safe and meaningful. But I want to do that on your terms for you.
Yeah.
And because when we're doing pre-assurance, we're saying I'm here, you matter, and that is a really good way to kind of communicate I'm here and you matter to me.
Yeah, that's right. I think every conversation where you're trying to, you know, discuss something difficult with your partner, there is kind of a formula. It's, you know, acknowledging their needs, acknowledging their hurts, taking responsibility for your part, for anything that you contribute or could contribute, and then, you know, reassuring them that you're there for them and that you care about them. And then fourth thing would be, you know, that you want to help them, you want to heal the relationship, you care about the relationship, and you're there for them, essentially back to number three. So there's a good formula there, and we do have um, a few scripts that you can follow on our website for difficult things. One of them being like if you're trying to cut off the affair partner and you don't really know how to do it, or maybe it's been difficult. There's a template letter that you can send to them. So maybe I can make a script like for this
Sure.
for the
Yeah.
holiday season.
Yeah, because part of this too is people need to, people get stuck in this. At, just to really simplify this, they really get stuck in this when they don't feel cared for.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's obviously going to be like trauma, but people get stuck in this because they don't feel cared for. And what preassurance is doing, it's saying, I see you, I'm here, you matter to me. And it's communicating, I'm doing this because you matter to me.
That's right.
Um,
And this
so,
relationship
yeah,
matters.
yeah, like I care about you. And that's really what people need. Otherwise, if they don't feel like you're concerned about them after, if the average person who's been betrayed feels like, okay, you don't care about me after breaking my trust, they get stuck in that.
Yeah.
You know, they really struggle to move forward. They really can't, heal beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now, the next situation that you can offer preassurance in is that before a social gathering, especially with people who know about the affair, or maybe even who are associated with the past, what you can say if you've been unfaithful is, if anything about tonight feels off or uncomfortable for you, just give me a look or a signal.
Mm.
I'll be right there with you. Your comfort is my priority. So let me say that again. If anything about tonight feels off or uncomfortable for you, just give me a look or a signal. I'll be right there with you. Your comfort is my priority.
Yeah.
And
That's
what that
important.
does is it gives the betrayed partner control and protection in unpredictable settings where shame or exposure might spike, where it might be more uncomfortable because people know you got that family member who's ornery and just says crap.
Oh, right.
And so you gotta.
The difficult people in your lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting too. I've been thinking about that a lot actually lately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God for those difficult people, right? Thank the Lord for those difficult people because they help us grow and become better. But still, it can be so hard, especially when you're on edge already and already traumatized by these things. But again, it goes back to that patience, right? Just trying to be patient with ourselves and with people who just are clueless sometimes about, you know,
Yeah.
about what to say or not say.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't have a filter.
Do you want to talk about the next way to offer preassurance? The third way?
Oh yeah. Okay. So thinking about before you go out, right? So there's these triggers. Okay. So let's say you're going out and you realize or you remember that, you used to do X, Y, or Z when we would go out, right? So just going out in general can be a trigger. So maybe having a conversation where we say, well, okay, before I leave, maybe if you're going out by yourself, I just want you to know exactly where I'll be and who I'm with. And if you ever need to check in, I welcome it. Not because you should trust not because you should trust me yet, because that may not be there, but because I want to earn it. And so being just very transparent, being very, vocal about, I'm safe, that I'm a safe person for you. I know that when I would go out before, there were things that I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing, but you know, I want you to know that I'm not doing that anymore, and I'm open. I'm an open book, and so that's important. Um, so it preempts the suspicion that could potentially pop up, and calms that person who has their trust broken, right? So it offers transparency without being asked and normalizes trust building as a process. So processing, yeah, that's important. Make it a
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth way that you can offer preassurance is before physical intimacy or even a romantic date. You can say a statement like this, because physical intimacy, romantic dates, they tend to trigger feelings of being unsafe or even used.
Mm.
Some people can use physical intimacy as a way to reconnect after trust has been broken. Other people, it's like, no,
Don't touch me.
Yeah, don't touch me. It's
Yeah.
not safe. It just depends. But there can be a feeling of being used. The other thing that can happen is, we had an active love life
Mm.
before the affair, during the affair, between us. when we did go on romantic dates, we did do all the right stuff. That is no longer reassuring to me. What normally should have been something a couple would do to have a good relationship or even to rebuild after trust is broken no longer does that for me.
Mm.
And instead, now it's more of a trigger because it reminds me of like, this wasn't enough to prevent your affair,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So that's really important. So, what you can do, what you can offer, is you can say something like, I know being close like this can bring up mixed emotions. You never have to pretend with me. If anything starts to feel unsafe or confusing, just tell me and we can stop or shift in whatever way you need.
Yeah.
So let me say that again. I know being close like this can bring up mixed emotions. You never have to pretend with me. If anything starts to feel unsafe or confusing, just tell me and we can stop or shift in whatever way you need. When you say something like that, Morgan, is it respects emotional, physical safety of somebody, but you're also promoting openness and
Mm.
vulnerability and genuineness and authenticity instead of like putting pressure on somebody who's been betrayed.
Yeah.
So it's like, I break your trust, now I'm pressuring you to have sex with me or make love. Uh, that just creates more fear,
Mm-hmm.
which actually digs a hole deeper for us because you're feeling this pressure from me. And if you don't perform, then you have this fear you're going to lose me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
an open, loving statement like that can be reassuring or preassuring
Mm.
before, helps people who've been betrayed feel like they can relax more.
Yeah. That's so important. So, so important. So then there's a fifth one. You want to jump
Mm-hmm.
into that?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do it or you can do
You
it.
go for it.
So the fifth one would be before discussing the affair or even attending therapy, um, which a trigger could be reopening wounds, being, having the fear of talking about it or opening up those wounds, being vulnerable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you could say is, this is hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about. And I want you to know that I'm committed to hearing whatever you need to share, even if it hurts. I'll do my best to stay grounded and not get defensive because your feelings matter, right? So what it does is it signals readiness and accountability. It also reassures them that they won't be punished for their emotions, that you won't retaliate, that they're essentially a safe person, and they're not, if you become vulnerable with them or you're opening, those wounds back up, that they're not gonna attack you for it. So I think that's really very helpful for preassuring, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
preassuring.
Yeah. Now, the sixth thing that you can offer preassurance with is with technology. Anytime like a phone is used or a computer is used, that kind of thing, you can offer preassurance. And uh, so, obviously, social media,
Mm-hmm.
those are all like really big triggers. So, what you can do to offer preassurance if you've broken trust is, I'm going to be on my phone for a bit, just so you know, it's for this reason, and I can share what I'm doing if that helps you feel more at ease.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say that again. I'm going to be on my phone for a little bit, just so you know. It's for this reason. I can share what I'm doing if that helps you feel more at ease. And what that does is it turns a potential suspicious action into an opportunity to show transparency, and it respects their trauma.
Yeah.
You're being mindful of the wound. Part of what hurts people who've been betrayed is like, golly, you never think about this.
Mm.
Like, you never think about me. You don't think about this. We only talk about it when I bring it up. So if you've broken trust, this is really useful, this framework that we're talking about, because the pattern is usually the person who broke trust only talks about it, only thinks about it when the injured partner or the betrayed partner brings it up. But if we can offer preassurance first, which means we're bringing it up and we're initiating the conversation because we're saying to them, I see you, you matter to me, I'm here for you. When we do that, it really helps the betrayed feel secure. It helps them feel seen,
Yeah.
and it helps them feel safe, that kind of thing. Because a lot of negative cycles happen because they don't feel seen. The betrayed don't feel seen. They don't feel safe, and so a lot of these negative cycles happen because of that.
Yeah.
They're just trying to like give me. I want your attention.
Yeah.
Notice me. See me.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when you preassure, you're able to
Yeah.
give them um, that reassurance
Yeah.
in advance. That's
Yeah.
really great. So the seventh one would be before traveling or going on a trip alone. And what you could say in before you do that is you can say, I realize travel can be a trigger. It can be triggering for you. And so not knowing where I am, who I'm with, or any of the details, that can be so hard, right? I'll keep you updated regularly. And if anything feels off or concerning, I want you to tell me right away so I can address it. I will answer my phone, and that sort of thing. So, what it does is it replaces secrecy with structure and offers continual reassurance. One second, I have to sneeze. Okay, hold on. Never mind. Sorry, I've got a cold. Yeah, so that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Triggering for sure. All
Yeah.
the traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, the last arena or area of our lives that we can use pre-assurance in is right before, during a milestone moment. It's like it's the first time since kind of a moment.
Right.
It's basically naming the elephant in the room
Mhm.
so that we can build trust just by recognition. I'm bringing it up. I'm being present. I'm not avoiding the
It's
elephant
the
in the room.
first Christmas
Oh, yeah.
since the
Yeah.
fair was discovered, or
Yeah.
it's kind of the first whatever.
First anniversary, first Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
First. I mean, it could be other things besides that.
What could
But
you say? Do you think?
well, what you could say is, this is our first event, first holiday. It's the first time we've gone on a date, made love since everything happened. I've been thinking about how hard that might be for you. If there's any way I can make today feel easier or even safer for you or even more comforting, please let me know. I want to be here in the way that you need.
Yeah.
So that basically names the elephant in the room, and it builds trust because you're being present and you're not avoiding.
Yeah.
People who've been betrayed really struggle with avoidance.
Mhm.
They need their spouse to lean in and be engaged. And so when you say something like this, I'm going to repeat it again. This is our first event, date, holiday, maybe lovemaking since everything happened. I've been thinking about how hard this might be for you. If there's any way I can make today feel easier or safer or more comforting, please let me know. I want to be there in the way that you need me to be. And when you give that kind of pre-assurance, it works because you're anticipating the fear instead of reacting to it. It proves that you're emotionally attuned. Usually when people have an affair, they're definitely, maybe not always, they don't always act checked out in the marriage. Obviously they are, because you have an affair, you're checked out, you're compartmentalized. But when you offer pre-assurance, what you're doing is you're choosing the marriage first, choosing your relationship first with your spouse. When you're having an affair, you're choosing that relationship and yourself first. But when you're choosing, when you're offering pre-assurance, you're showing I'm choosing us first.
Yeah, I'm reinvested in the relationship
Exactly.
with you.
Yeah, and pre-assurance works because it anticipates fear instead of reacting to it. It proves that we're emotionally attuned, and it builds a new track record of reliability. Like, it's a new positive cycle that we're offering.
Yes.
Like, at our workshops, we talk about like negative cycles. We spend a lot of time on that. And we also, before we get into that, we talk about positive cycles. Because if we can have a positive cycle, it helps us get out of the negative cycle.
Yeah.
Because you can really only be in one or the other at the same time. And so we kind of go deeper into what positive cycles are at our workshop, really try to unpack that.
Yeah, and how to exit your negative cycle, but then replace that negative cycle with a new positive cycle. Yeah.
But pre-assurance helps us get into that more positive cycle because it's saying, I choose you.
Right.
I'm being thoughtful. I'm being considerate. You're top of mind. And normally the average person who strays, unless they're like a burnout pursuers are those who like turn to the relationship for comfort and support. The average person who strays has a history of not really doing that. They tend to be fiercely independent. So when we offer pre-assurance, we're showing that we're emotionally attuned, where I'm looking to you to comfort you, but also I'm looking to you for support. It's showing I'm different. I'm not the same person that was doing this.
Yeah.
I'm choosing you, which is really important for people who've been betrayed. Go ahead, because we're almost done.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you have asked a question, I can't see it for some reason. This is the first time we've gone live before, so if you've asked a question, I apologize. I can't see anything.
So what happens when you click down there?
Down here?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario is I will answer your question as soon as I can. But honestly, I can't see anything. This is the first time. So I apologize if you've asked a question and I haven't answered it yet. I just can't see it. I might not be able to see it till we're all done. So I'll be sure to answer that.
Can I just skip some, let me push some buttons here.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Ooh,
no,
no.
that'll end the video. Sorry.
Don't do that. I wouldn't do that either.
Um,
None of that, because that's all going to do the same thing, probably.
yeah,
Oh, wait, I have an idea.
yeah.
What about this?
I think there's some questions right there.
Maybe.
No questions.
Okay. Wait, those are our questions. Okay, so, so let's see. Oh, listen to this. Oh, okay, here's one. Here's one. Okay. Um, so this person says, listen to your podcast about EMDR treatment. Sounds promising.
Yeah, it's very helpful. If you get a chance to do it, I would jump at it. It'll be life changing. Whether
EMDR.
you're the betrayed or the unfaithful partner, it will help immensely.
Yeah.
It will help a lot.
Yeah, and something I like to tell people because I feel like it's really helpful. And you know, tell me, fill in the blanks.
Mhm.
But um, EMDR is just one type of trauma treatment, right? There's lots of different types,
definitely.
and and so sometimes people will use EMDR and it's great, and then they'll keep processing because it's like an onion and it opens up maybe a new trauma will pop up, and then maybe EMDR is not as effective, and they think, oh gosh, this isn't working. Well, maybe you just need a different type of trauma treatment, and that's okay. EMDR is very popular right now.
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best,
Mm.
but it'll get the job done. It'll help you feel better if you've been betrayed, and it'll get the job done. So if that's all you've got available, great.
yeah.
Part of what we've done is like we have a workshop. We've turned it into like a more of a complete program where there's a workshop component to it. It's also an on-demand workshop that you can do virtually, uh, just like you log in and just go through everything on your own. Part of that to make it more complete and thorough is we have a trauma portion of it
Mhm.
where we have taken what's considered like the gold standard of trauma treatment, and we teach you how to do it yourself if you want to do it on your own.
Yeah.
But so we've tried to make it more robust, our
Yeah.
workshop into a full program,
Yeah.
more than just a weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely robust. That trauma piece is so underrated. I don't think people really realize just how traumatizing this truly is, and how those triggers can really impact your healing. And just to know that yes, EMDR is really great, but there's several different methods. Brad, how many methods do you?
Oh, I don't know, 6, 7.
He knows 6 or 7 different methods.
Just I'm trained in myself.
That he's trained in. Um, so being able to draw from those, I think is just so invaluable. Instead of a lot of therapists, they get kind of happy with one particular method, and they don't really search for more. And but that's not Brad's case. Brad is constantly searching for more. There's something better, something bigger, something stronger, something better for for you guys. And so I think that's really important to note. But yeah, I EMDR is really, really great. I've been through EMDR therapy. I've also been through thought field therapy, and I've been through what is it, brain spotting, and there's like lots of different methods. But there's a lot more therapists who are EMDR trained. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Thank you guys. If
Yeah.
there's any other comments, we'll stay on for a couple minutes unless if there's another comment, we'll go.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us, and hope to see you guys at a workshop if you're able to make it.
Yeah.
The program.
Yeah, and there's a link I think that's pinned in the comment section for you to schedule a discovery call. It's free. You can talk with a member of our team to get help for your relationship and for you individually. So thank you guys for sticking it out for this 30 minutes here, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.